How's everyone?
Great.
Well, I've had a right old time this
Why?
morning.
Yeah.
Well, I take Teddy out for a walk at about 7 o'clock in the morning. Don't ask me why. And I thought, you know what? We've been together a while now. He understands me. So I'll take him off the lead. I'll let him go.
Oh, no.
Well, I live near a canal. And he went, yeah! And just ran. And all I could see is his little tiny back legs going.
Oh,
He just
Freedom.
ran. I was screaming at the top of my voice at 7 o'clock in the morning, running out, and he got to a hedge and sat inside the hedge. And I went, get out of here, get out of it. So I grabbed him, but he slid away. Then he ran to a tree. Then he ran, and he ran to the canal.
Oh,
And I
no.
thought, oh, he's going to fall in. So I said, if you fall in that canal, I am not coming in after you. That is entirely up to you. Make your decision. So he stopped at the canal and looked at the water and sort of went, you know, oh, I'm not doing that. And he ran off then down towards the road where the canal goes on to. And I thought, oh God, this is it. He's going to be killed now. He's going to be killed. And what will I tell Molly? And he stopped at the road, weirdly, and just stood there. And I crept up behind him. I thought, as soon as he knows that. And do you know what? He never moved. And I put his lead on. Well, I gave him such a talking to. And I said, I'm never letting you off that lead ever again.
Do you know what I think he was doing, Sherry? I think he was exercising you. He was getting you to run down that canal path, do some squats as you were down by the hedge, reaching up as you went by the tree.
Well, it's true. I did a lot of that this morning, I can tell you.
Yeah, it was a Chihuahua hit class. I think that's what it was.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
But it's the weather. Is the weather lovely where you are at the moment, Sherry?
Yes, beautiful.
It's lovely here. Now, this is what is weird. I don't know. Here in the southwest, I went to Richmond Park with my grandson on Saturday, my two grandsons, and I've never, ever, ever seen it so full. I mean, you know Richmond Park very well. It was chock-a-block. And there were people waiting. There were loads and loads of refreshment places open, and everybody was that far away from each other. People were sitting outside on different tables. I've never seen so many families. I've never seen so many people, and I didn't see one mask.
I know. The thing is, it's so confusing, isn't it? Because, I mean, I'm still really struggling because I'm in the bubble of my daughter and grandchildren. I've got 3 grandchildren, as you know. And I went over yesterday, we went for a walk, and exactly the same thing happened, loads and loads of people. But then I think, can I see anyone else? Or is it outside? I suppose maybe that's why it's so chocker outside. Because
I think when people are outside, they don't wear masks, so they're outside, and everyone is doing their hour walk. And because it's a wonderful weather, everyone's going to the parks all day, every day to do their hour exercise. It's really confusing and really hard.
I thought you were supposed to only see one person when you were out. You could meet one person for a walk. There were gangs of people.
If you're in a bubble of 4, or is it 6 or 4 now? Is it bubbles of 4 you can go in?
Nobody knows.
Not sure.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
No, darling.
And, and Wales has come out of their lockdown today. So all that thing about you can't go to Wales anymore, that's all. Wales has just opened. All their restaurants, bars, everything today are now open.
God. Right. So, girls, see you in Wales later?
Yes.
Right. We'll see you in Wales tomorrow. We'll let you know where we are at
doing our show from there on Wednesday.
So who's coming in, Harriet? You've got a lovely, lovely friend.
I have. She's a friend to all of us. The wonderful, extraordinary actress who's been on Doctor Who, EastEnders, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and my co-ambassador for acting for others, Annette Badland. Hello, darling.
Hello.
Welcome to our guest, darling.
Great to see you all.
How are you doing,
fantastic.
I'm wearing my Wonder Bra.
Oh,
joining Wonderbirds. I thought, you know,
very okay.
I got my cup and saucer because you all have your cup theme. So I thought I'd join in with that.
Yes, we do.
got gin
Darling,
in it,
tell us,
but-
what have you been doing? What are you doing at the moment? Tell us all.
Well, we've restarted Midsummer Murders, so that's great.
Yes.
We finished the first ep. We did finish that last week, just before lockdown. But it's been deemed that the film industry, as you will all know, is like the construction industry. So I guess we're constructing stories and imaginative things. So we're allowed to carry on. So we start.
Yes.
I'm about to do the read through for the second ep now.
Wow.
So
And are you tested for
exciting.
COVID and things, darling, all that sort of stuff?
Constantly. We do it twice a week. We're sent a pack. We get 2 tests a week. So every Monday and Thursday, I'm gagging myself and sticking rods up the nose.
Oh,
And I spoke to a nurse yesterday, because I do both my nostrils, because I thought, well, you know, you have to.
Might
And she
as
said,
well.
oh no, just do one. And I felt very silly,
Oh.
really. I thought, oh no.
Oh.
So I'm going to be alternating now. Monday will be the right nostril and Thursday the left, I think.
It's very important because the one might get angry with the other if they're not equal. You have to be
Yes,
fair
I
with your
know they
nostrils.
have to have a fair shot, I think.
Now,
yeah.
tell me, darling, we're co-ambassadors for Acting for Others, but you also have a diabetes charity. Tell us what you've been doing in lockdown with all of that.
Well, I've swum the channel.
Of course.
yes.
Drum roll.
Yes.
I didn't really. It was 22 miles. You had to swim the equivalent of the channel, 22 miles. But we had 3 months, although because of lockdown, everything stopped. I started in February when I was up in Liverpool doing Our Lady of Blundell Sands, and we had to close and everything stopped. And then we picked it up again. So we finished on the 22nd, well, the 31st of October. So I did that. Now they've asked me, next Saturday, the 14th, is Diabetes Day, which I didn't know previously. And I also didn't know that the colour of diabetes is blue. So they're calling it Nailing Diabetes, and they're encouraging people. I've sadly taken my nail varnish off, but I co-opted Neil and Nick and Fiona on when we were shooting last week. I've got all my neighbours out having their photographs taken, and so that's next Saturday, Nailing
And
Diabetes.
did you say you said you weren't having wind issues personally, that it's a noise?
It isn't the repercussions of last night's spinach. It's I have a new young neighbour who I live in a Victorian terrace, and he moved in and came round and said, my father's in construction, I will be doing some work. Well, I think he's in demolition, because last week he came and there was a lump hammer and lorry loads of bricks left, and this week it's a lot of drilling. So that's why it might sound like I'm having
Well, it doesn't, but I want to ask you something that I'm sure all our viewers are desperate to know, and I am as well. Your theatrical background has started when you were a little girl. Can you tell us how it all began? It was so interesting. Your life is so interesting.
Well, I wasn't that little. Oh, what do you mean? Falling in love with theatre was when I was
Yeah,
about
when you
10.
fell in love with
That
theatre.
was a parent's day, and I'm sure lots of actors will say the same thing. I felt the audience for the first time. I'm an only child, so
Yeah.
I think that had a lot to do with it too. And my class chanted a poem behind me, and I got to enact the character. And I just, for the first time, found I could make people laugh, and I could stop them laughing. And that you kind of go, oh, right. Bit different from being the innkeeper in the Christmas play. Had to buy my own lantern, which was red and had a proper candle. So that kind of really, I'm working class, nothing, you know.
So when did you start?
None
When
of
did
it
you
in my
actually-
background.
So what happened to get you involved in the theatre? How did you start professionally?
I went to a drum school called East 15, and in my first year, in our first holiday, my best mate went off to do weekly rep in Southwold, and I got a telegram, because I am that old, saying female ASM awful, bring own cap and apron. So I went off to Southwold to do weekly rep in my summer break, and my first word on stage was merde, because I played the maid in Private Lives, and she comes on, trips over something and swears. So, but I also, I was acting ASM, so I was winding in the curtain and putting the lights on, and on first nights, because it was weekly rep, I said as much as the actors on the stage, because nobody knew it. So I was over the balcony going, But what it did mean was I left drama school with an equity card, which at that time it was a catch-22. You had to have a card to get the job, and you had to have a job to get the card. So I left drama school with my card, and I went to the Actors Company. Was the first sort of professional thing I did, with Ian McKellen and Ted Petherbridge and Cara Blakiston and Sheila Reid. And again, I was just the acting ASM. They promised, Felicity Kendall was in the company and she was pregnant, and they'd said to me, you will take over as the maid in the Fado farce alongside Ian. And would Felicity Kendall give that part up? She would not.
She gave birth.
So I didn't push her off the stage.
Can I just say to you, Annette, I have a message for you from the very gorgeous Tony Maudsley.
Oh.
And he said, tell my Nettie how much I love her and how much I miss her. And I know that you've just mentioned you started the play in March. Yeah. And he was texting me every day saying, oh my God, I love being here. And then it stopped. So tell us about that time.
A new Jonathan Harvey play called Our Lady of Blundell Sands. Cast of 6 people, Josie Lawrence, Tony, Matt Henry, and we were having a really good time. It was a wonderful play because it was one of those ones where there's a fabulous mix. It was funny and it was very moving, and everybody had a story of their own to bring to it, you know, dysfunctional family, and just tremendous. And we got very good reviews. And we were only playing for about 10 days. We'd done some previews, had the press night, and we played to the end of the next week, and that was it. We all went home.
You know, they might pick it back up again next year.
They want to. I mean, but you know, Tony's now in Corrie, so
I know.
You know, we'll not get him, the likes of him.
No, not for a while. No, well. Exciting times.
Oh yes, and it was, you know, it's one of those. I did The Rise and Fall of Little Voice.
Yes,
I did a Cartwright play with Jane Horrocks and Alison Steadman, and it was the same thing. It was an audience that were very moved, but just wanted to stand at the end of it and applaud. And I know it's become more fashionable, but when you've got an audience that you know you've done that to, that they kind of just can't stop themselves kind of sharing, which is what theatre's really about. And
that's
just going, you hit the button. I understand these people. I can, you know, I know all of this, and it's just brilliant. Thank you. I mean, wonderful.
Do you know, Annette, I have to tell you, you've always hit the button in my book, because we go back a long way, don't we, to East 15?
Yeah,
we do. And I wasn't in your year, but I used to look at all the things you appeared in, which were amazing, and you were always a bit of a star, and you know, going places, doing. We knew that you were going to be doing amazing things, and now actually I realised that you're a patron of the Birmingham Rep, and there's actually is there a seat dedicated in your name? And please tell us, there's an amazing quote which I think you're an inspiration, but it's an inspiration to everyone. What does it say, that seat?
I can't remember.
Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it.
I just think it's brilliant, because that's what we all have our own demons, don't we, that stop us doing stuff.
Of course we do.
It's just it is just starting stuff. It's having the nerve to begin and step in.
But Annette, that's a quote for all actors, isn't it? Whatever you can do, dream you can do, and begin it. You know, and that's an actor's quote, isn't it? Because that's what we all are. We're just dreamers,
and that's why we're here.
The other thing is, I don't know if you've found
not just actors. Everyone. I think we should all feel that and have that self-belief. If you have self-belief, that's everything.
Yeah, and I think that's important now too, because we're all we're all having to restart our lives. Everything is changing. Everything is changing very quickly all the time. None of us know where we are.
No,
we don't.
But thank goodness we have Midsummer Murders, darling, and we can watch The Village Yes. Great. How can they all be
Except now,
Absolutely.
see, I think Fleur is perfectly placed to take over because she's got her little blue Smurf
Yes.
suit, rubber
Yeah.
gloves, mask. I think move
Perfect.
over, Neil, don't you?
Yes.
Perfect. Move
Absolutely.
over.
To get in there and start solving all the crimes.
Oh goodness. Oh, Annette, we're really excited to see that, and also to see what you're going to do next. And we'd like you to come back if I may ask.
Oh yes, I'd love to.
And tell us exactly what you're going to be doing, because we know that you're going to be doing some very exciting things next year.
We hope.
Yes,
Well,
we
you know,
know.
the thing is, Anna, I don't know if
Unless we
you
all
agree-
get.
I don't know if you agree with me, but when anybody ever says to me, be realistic, I always say, if I was realistic, I wouldn't have done anything in my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yes, you can't. You have to hope, and you have to dream, and you have to work for stuff that may or may not ever happen, but you have to believe it might.
You have to believe.
Just believe.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you for coming to
Annette.
see us,
Fairy
darling.
godmother.
Thank you, darling.
Believe.
Yeah.
Dingle,
Believe.
dingle, 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 dingle.
Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, darling.
I'll be
We'll
back.
see you soon. You will.
Bye-bye.
Oh, isn't she lovely? My gosh, wasn't she brilliant
An
in
inspiration.
EastEnders?
Oh yes.
Oh,
I love
She
that
was,
woman.
yeah.
Babe in EastEnders, she was absolutely fun. She's just, it's funny because she's so posh, isn't she, really? So, really.
But that's being an actor,
You
isn't
know.
it? That you can do all these different people. She's an amazing character actor and actress, full stop.
Yes.
She's brilliant. And I love the fact she
And
came on with a cat.
I've always admired everything she did, everything. And I loved her in Bergerac, which I was going to say because that's John Nettles as well. But
Oh, yeah.
I sounded too much like a fan. So.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening
That's the most
Wednesday?
important
What's
part.
happening Wednesday?
Wednesday, girls. Of course, we've got Dr. Tracy Mountford coming in.
Oh, yes. Also, a DCI Adrian Handstock, and he's going to tell us all about the sniffer dogs, how they work,
Oh,
with
yes.
COVID, railway stations. These dogs save our lives, and he's going to tell us all about them.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. See you there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, girls. See you
Okay, then.
Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.